Greetings to all of you. Good to see you again. Well, actually, I'm not seeing you, but well, you see me. This week we change gears. We no longer talk so much about the Holocaust, even if it will still stay in the background and we'll still discuss how the other calamity of the 20th century, and that's communism, compares to Nazism in and how the radical nature of the two regimes created death in the 20th century. But our concentration will be on communism, especially how it took place in Romania. As I think you know, I don't remember if I ever told you or not, I am Romanian by birth. That is, I was born in Romania and I lived the first 26 years of my life there. And now, of course, I have connection with the country. My parents still live in Romania, so I visit often. So I'm more familiar with what happened in Romania, and in that way, in that sense, the history I'm going to speak about now, not today necessarily, but those following weeks, is closer to my heart in some respect, because I know these people. I know how they reacted to communism, and I know what communism actually produced in Romania, and the consequences that we see even nowadays, more than 30 years after the fall of communism in Romania. So I will just say a few words this week, especially because I want you to see two different videos that are longer. And so you have two other video questions other than this one. And I will just say a few things about how communism and Nazism compare. And I want to emphasize something that I mentioned in the PowerPoint that you will receive, and that is what Hannah Arendt said, that both communism and so the Bolsheviks and Nazism accuse people not for what they did, but for who they were. Some of them, Nazism, based on, as a historian said, a false biology, while the communist, as another historian said, based on a false sociology. So if the Nazis wanted to eliminate Jews and at the same time gypsies, homosexuals, and all people with handicap, so based on certain views about what is a perfect human being from a biological perspective, false views, I want to emphasize that. The communists wanted to eliminate everybody who was in disagreement with the way in which they understood how to conceive a society. And I will say something now that may sound outrageous. Both Nazism and communism wanted to recreate society in the name of what they understood to be beautiful, but abstract ideas of beautiful. And what that produced was crime to a level unthought of. Some historians, we do not exactly know how many people died because of communism or because of the communist regimes. We know that there were 6 million people, 6 million Jews who died in concentration camps, or well, not in concentration camps, due to the Holocaust. All over, not only in concentration camps, that's what I meant. More than 6 million, over 6 million. A lot of people, right? Some historians, we don't exactly know what happened in communism, because in communism things, many murders were unaccounted for. Some historians say that only in the Soviet Union, so only the former Soviet Union, 20 million people were murdered. I want to repeat this number: 20 million people. Why? Because the communists wanted to construct a society based on an idea of equality that is not achievable. And everybody who was in disagreement with, or anyone who could be a menace to the regime, had to be eliminated. And I know I'm just claiming now that an idea of equality that is not achievable. I will say more about that in the following weeks. But the point I want to emphasize is that both those regimes wanted to pursue an abstract idea without paying any more attention to the beauty of a human being, or to the dignity that a human being has. And anytime we approach that, anytime we go towards abstract things, we are very close to murder, because in the name of ideas, it is easy for us to eliminate those people who do not agree with those ideas. I will just say a few words about how communism came in Romania. And in Romania, it took place immediately after World War II. And you have in the PowerPoint Richard Wurmbrand. Richard Wurmbrand was Jewish, who became a Christian. And even if he was a Christian, during World War II, he had problems because of the Nazis. Romania, as you may know, was an ally of Germany at the beginning of the war. They changed sides in 1944, August 23rd. But at the beginning, he had problems because of the Nazis. And then when the war ended, he thought that, he would have no problems. But then the Russians came, or the communists came, and then he began to have problems because of the communists, because he was Christian. So what I'm trying to emphasize is that Romania, from the beginning, had problems from both sides. And you can see in Romania, that's why Romania, and actually many of the Eastern European countries are interested because of that. You can see that, you can see there how both of the regimes created pain and suffering. So what happened in Romania immediately after World War II? The Red Army came and imposed, through falsified elections, the Communist Party. And the moment in which the communists came into the power, they put into prison all the intellectuals, all the political opponents. And in order to destroy the elite of the country and replace the elite of the country with their own people, but people who were not prepared. And in fact, anytime historians say that anytime the communists came into power, what happened immediately was a restructure or a refabric of the society. So in order to do that, you have to destroy 10% of the population. So what you do, 10% of the population, you either murder or you put into prisons. And then you can restructure the society according to your own views. Because Romania was not used to communism in the sense in which the communist ideals were not shared by the Romanian people. So they had to impose it in a certain way. One of the idea in communism is that there's no private property. So all the land had to be confiscated. And nowadays, people find common graves in which the bodies are always killed with a bullet in the back of the head, because the secret police came there, and if you did not want to give up your land, they were shooting you, so they were killing you, in order to change your view, so to say. This took place for 10-15 years, so the confiscation of the land, to the point in which people no longer had private property. I will send you different texts in which these ideas are better explained. Slowly, actually quite fast, the Communist Party took into its own hands all the power in the country and all the resources. And the way in which you can actually achieve that is through fear. And fear because you would be imprisoned for any kind of reasons, and also fear because you did not know who around you was an informant for the secret police. That's why for 40-something years, 45 years, people did not actually revolt much against the communist regimes in Romania and the other countries. Well, there was in Hungary there was a revolution. There was also in Czechoslovakia. But in general, people remain under the communist power mainly because of fear. Well, those are just some introductory ideas. I encourage you strongly to watch the two videos. You'll see in one of them, you'll see the terror that took place in one of the prisons in Pitești. The other one, you'll see a comparison between the Nazi and the communist regimes. I want to remind you that we need to think as scholars do. So to take all the videos, including my own videos, with a grain of salt and try to analyze them in the context of all the information we receive. Next week I will say more things about and more detailed things about communism in Romania. Be well.